Hi, this is David Orlofsky, and welcome to the Parsha in 5. We're in 5 minutes. We want to give you a little idea, hopefully add to your Shabbos. We're in the second year of the Parsha in 5. So if you want more information, you can go to last year's Parsha in 5, and then you can have Parsha in 10. Anyway, for those who are not familiar, there was just an election in the United States of America where they elected a new president. And it was contentious, and a lot of points were being made. But there was a very interesting thing. Somebody interviewed Donald Trump before he was elected, and he said, I asked around about you, and I found out that you do a tremendous amount of chesed. He didn't say chesed. He said you do a lot of kindness. I spoke to former employees. I spoke to people where they'll suddenly get a call from you. You'll suddenly pay someone's bills. You'll say, how come you never talk about that? Any other politician, if they ever did anything nice, they would do everything they could to stress it, and you don't. And he says, I don't like to talk about those things. But it's an interesting thing. Rav Chaim Oizer, who became the Rav of Vilna, at a very young age, they say most of his day he spent doing chesed. I mean, this was, Chaim Oizer could write 2 tshuvas with 2 hands and have a conversation at the same time. 10 shlichim came from all around the world to bring him what was going on in different communities. And he says, no, zug. And they said, who? He says, everybody. So all 10 of them spoke at the same time. And you can hear them all. He spent most of his day doing chesed. Yeah, Rav Chaim Briska spent most of his day as a Rav involved in doing chesed. So a person who wants to have a leadership position, a lot of what goes into it is not just the important decisions you make, but how you care about the people. And that's why during his first term, Donald Trump, who would always say he never started any new conflicts, he said, I'll tell you why. Every Friday I would go down to the hospital and visit the wounded veterans. I'd see people with missing limbs. I see people in pain, people suffering. He says, I have to be there when they bring the bodies off. I was sitting with the families as they bring the bodies of their loved ones. I don't want to risk any Americans' lives unless I absolutely have to. So it's more than just making casual decisions to do this or do that. You have to take into account the consequences. Moshe Rabbeinu was chosen to lead Klal Yisrael, the Manig of Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu, he's our Rebbe. How did he get this job? The Medrash says he had sheep that ran off, and he chased the sheep to bring him back to the flock, and then he saw that he ran to a stream to drink, and he says, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were thirsty. I wouldn't have chased you. I would have gotten you a drink, but now you must be tired from running. Let me carry you back on my shoulders. And Hashem said, if that's how he treats his sheep, that's who I want to treat my sheep. Back in 1983, Noach Weinberg asked me to give a series of shiurim, maybe classes would be a better word, in Eshet Torah about Kiruv. And one of the topics was professionalism in Kiruv. And I asked Rav Moshe Cheda, I was learning Chavetz Chaim at the time, and I said, I have to speak about professionalism in Kiruv. And he opened up a medrash and he says, I don't know, maybe this will help. Moshe Rabbeinu was arguing with the Kadosh Baruch Hu for 7 days. He brought all kinds of different arguments, but one of them was, you want me to bring these people out into the desert? How am I going to protect them from the heat? How am I going to protect them from the cold? Pregnant women need one type of food. Nursing women need a different type of food. Elderly people need a different type of food. He says, where am I going to get the nuts and the candies for the children? And Mary Chet looked at me and said, people are dying in Egypt, being used as bricks in the world, slaughtered as blood for Paro to bathe in. And you're worried where you're going to get the nuts and the candies for the children? Maybe that's what you're looking for. That a person who's going to be a leader has to not just worry about the major policy. He has to worry about every individual. That's how Moshe Rabbeinu became the Manig Shel Yisrael. Shabbos.